Any other announcements, Pastor? Okay. It is that time. Once again, we are here, and obviously, as you guys have been hearing, seeing by emails and all that, we have a proposal today that we will be presenting to you, and I'll hold off on that until we get to the financial section of this meeting. But we will run through everything else in the meantime, since we have a captive audience here. We got you in your seats. So thank you for being here and giving us your time and energy this morning here. This is the agenda today, and I'll be hopping in for a few people that were not able to make it here this morning and kind of filling in for them and reporting on their areas. Russ is here, so he will come down and present as himself.
Well, we've had a few programs to try to bring other people in, and with Salsa Sunday and so forth and so on, and basically we've got other things in the wind, but they're not really up and coming just yet.
The adult discipleship, a lot of what has been going on continues to go on. You can see up there that we do the 19-minute Bible study each and every Sunday, with the exception of Sundays like this where we're presenting to you. We've gotten into the Apostles' Creed here. The ladies are still meeting on Tuesday evening, 6:30. If you're not a part of that and want to be, I'm sure they love to have you. As of now, it's about 10 people per week that are meeting. Still going through boundaries. We have a third Wednesday coming up here, the 17th this week, 11:30. I know at the meeting this morning we tossed out the name TJ's, so talk to some gentlemen if you'd be interested in making that. Scott is not able to make it this morning either. I'll report on that. Sunday school teachers, those of you that worked this year to help out with the Sunday school classes, thank you from Scott. Thank you very much for doing that. I know when we combined the classes into one, it didn't seem like that much of a task, that you weren't up for teaching Sunday school all that often, all that frequently, so it was a pretty good gig this year. Not that long ago, we went to Salem Lake and we biked around Salem Lake, I think a good 7 miles or so, and I was able to snap a pic here without actually falling off my bike. So there it is, some of our group that was out biking that day, and had some fellowship that morning as well. Ed is not with us this morning either, so I'll be Ed for a second here. A lot of the same things going on there, just cleaning issues that we had recently cleaned the fellowship hall due to a lot of people, groups, etc., kind of coming and going and having access to the building. Ed made some contacts, and we did go ahead and rekey the church. So if you have old church keys and you come up here one day and can't get in, that's the reason why. If there is a need, if you're cleaning or something like that one week and you do need to get in, talk to Pastor, talk to Ed, that we can get you a key. Just let us know. The flower beds look great. It seems like every time I come here, it's, there's some additions to it, and it's looking great. I will speak on behalf of Ed here. I know he's up a lot, especially with the hot weather and lack of rain. If you happen to be in the area and you stop in, or you're here doing something, feel free, if you've got a minute, to take the hose out there, water. If you notice it looking kind of dry. But thank you so much for that. It looks wonderful, and it really beautifies the whole front area there. Keep an eye on schedules, ongoing cleaning if it's your week. And I know with people, summers, vacation, stuff like that, if there's a week you can't make it, talk to someone. I'm sure you can swap out with someone or have someone fill in for you. So just keep an eye on that. HVAC, we'll talk more about that. That is part of our proposal that we'll present to you in finances today. So you'll hear more on that, as you guys have been hearing now for months, years, etc. That they, are slowly going on us. The furnace is working, but the ACs are getting old, and you've heard this before, and you'll hear it again in this meeting. Elder report, throw some numbers at you. Here's what they look like. Our average attendance in May, you see 61, and still holding kind of steady there, anywhere between 59 to 62 as of to date. 2015, we're at 60, so about the norm. You can see the numbers there as well, holding steady. Communicant baptized members, again, no drastic ups or downs, fairly steady there. And Tom is here. Let him take over for a little bit.
So thank you. Next slide. So let's get started with May results. You actually have some paper in your box if you want to see them more particularly. Income was good. It was above budget. Expenses were a little below budget. And we had income of this month versus a budget of a loss. So we're actually doing better, and I'll show you a little bit more in a minute. One takeaway you could have from this is more months should have 5 Sundays. Okay. All right, next slide, please. Our year-to-date results are ahead of budget. The expenses are a little bit below, leaving with a positive income, about halfway through the year so far. So we're looking okay, but I did want to kind of give everybody a reminder. Traditionally, the summer seasons are giving tends to fall off because people are on vacation and doing things, and you just forget and stuff like that. So, would ask if you could, stay as current as you can. So that'd be helpful, so that we can get through the summer in a really strong way. Next slide. The big topic for today is the mortgage financing. We've been talking about this since January, and had different things in the emails and stuff. So we have a definitive deal that we'd like to go forward with. First of all, remember there's a SEF organization, which is part of the denomination that actually loans the money. They're our mortgage holder, so you talk to them about, make your request, and they review it in committee and come to a determination. So we were approved. So what approved means is that we can fix our heating and air conditioning, which if you notice in the air conditioning, if you've been in the other parts of the church this morning, we're kind of down to one in the sanctuary. Thankfully, if we were to have one left, this would be the one to have. So that's good. And the way that's going to work is we can hire the contractors, and as we are invoiced, SEF will disperse the funds directly to those contractors, which means we will need to have a discussion with the contractors about payment timing, but we believe all that's very, very tractable. There is a closing cost that's included in the financing. However, there's no out-of-pocket cash that has to come out. And by the way, let me back up on the staying current little thing. Probably we always put, what our income is, but we never really put our cash balances. But what everybody should appreciate is we base pretty much month to month. So we spend what we take in each month. So it's important to stay up with that. The interest rate in this case goes from 4.75 to 3.25. And I thought to put that in context, it's probably worth noting that if you were to go try to get a 30-year mortgage right now for a home, that interest rate would be 4.25. So that's a fairly favorable interest rate, we believe. Some good news about it is we currently pay $2,000 a month for the facility, and that can go down with to $1,750 or a $250 less payment beginning with the next payment in July. Any questions on the facts of the thing so far? Okay, next slide. The projected payoff date goes out a little bit from 2038 to 2040. So it's about a 2-year additional duration of the loan. The loan balance fundamentally goes up by the amount that we need to fix the air conditioning plus the closing costs. So that's an increase. And then these terms are renewed after 12 months. And let me talk about that for a minute. So that means that each 12 months they will review our loan and make a determination about where we are. The amortization schedule that was provided shows the current payments at our anticipated growth rate continuing at $1,750 for about 5 years. In what we submitted to SEF, we project growth in membership, which they take into account would be that we can pay a little more, and so the interest rate changes, and that allows you to support churches that are not growing. Now, my belief is that if for some reason that we don't grow, they're not going to do anything to hurt us. I think they'll be very cooperative like they have been this time. So while it's a risk, I'm not sure it's a really big one because they're a partner in our ministry. Next slide. Now, there are a few requirements that we have to come forward with the financing. One is we have to agree to a new property appraisal, and Seth needs to do this so that they can accurately value their portfolio, which is something that they have to do financially. They pay for that. All we have to do is just facilitate the appraisal will be made of the property. Then we also have to complete a 5-year ministry plan by the 1st of September, and it has to be reviewed by the district and approved by the mission board chairman or the president and their designate. We've been working on this for a little while, so we'll just keep working on this and get it done. This needs to be done anyway, so it's a good thing. And then this one comes down to me, since we are now classified as an impaired loan, which has its good and bad aspects. One of which is I have to now send them quarterly financials, which is pretty easy to do because we generate financials on a monthly basis anyway, so that's not a problem. Any questions so far? Okay, well here's any questions about this? Okay, so next up is my sort of pro and con analysis of the deal. So to me, the pros is it provides a solution to our HVAC problem that we really couldn't fix on our own with current cash flow or current operating funds, and our current building fund is about 10% of what would be required to fix it. So this seems like one good pro is it fixes that problem, keeps our facility up to date, provides for visitors not to be too hot if they finally break, and so on. The cons of that, of course, is it increases the total amount financed and extends the payoff by 2 years. So that's the trade-off we're making there. Then other pros is it reduces our near-term monthly payments by about $250. The con is it could go up in the future. If we grow, it will grow up appropriately in my view. So those are the pros and cons. Any questions? You might want to help me figure out about a vote here and what we do. That's probably your bailiwick.
Okay, and I'll leave you up here in case there are.
Okay, yeah, any questions? So they could conceivably adjust it at the end of 12 months. And as I say, the amortization table that they provided with us shows that their review based on the projections that current payment rate only for 5 years. So I don't anticipate there to be anything, but if there was some large adverse negative event or one that we really went uptick in membership and financial condition, they can make a difference. And the appraisal comes in, if that's not up to their expectations, that can happen. It does not. So they're strictly doing their own internal evaluation of the portfolio. Now, if they had any need or value to the portfolio, probably under some problem. Our particular appraisal has nothing to do with the approval.
If not, as you can see, and at any point, any discussion or anything, any clarification if need be, but if not, as you can see up there, the council, has been mulling this over for months now. This is a long term in the making, and we have come to the conclusion that our recommendation is voting for approval of what we presented to you here. And I guess I would look for the floor to any motions to vote on this topic. Okay. The quote from. And we had discussed, say, if the big room back there is air conditioned and up here isn't. Not, I mean, a solution to it. You whatever, yeah. I mean, if that's what they can do that, and then flip flop where we worship that Sunday. So we're still able to have services. Not the most ideal environment, but better than not having it or being very uncomfortable due to heat if it's still hot at that point. Okay, we have a motion on the floor. Do I have a second? I have a second in the back there. Is there any discussion, any further questions, clarifications that we can give you guys? If not, I would ask for a vote on the motion then. All in favor of approving our proposal here, say aye. Opposed? Nay? Okay, unanimous. The ayes have it. So we will go forward with this, submitting the paperwork. And if there is any other clarification, anything that you'd like more information on, by all means, at some point today, see myself, Tom, Pastor. We're always available by email, phone, stuff like that too. Any questions going forward from here. But I thank you guys for your time to this, and thank you for being here. Let's just shut that off.